Captain's log, September 6, 2025. Preparing to open up the KYMRON XH20D to check all the bolts and possibly replace the fluids if they haven't been done already. Things look pretty tight in there. But neatly done, I have to say. Let's see here. looks like 14mm bolts on the inside. Okay. And let's see, I'm guessing 14mm bolts on the front. Oops, come here. Slides right out. Obviously that's the hydraulic pump, and that's the muffler up there. These look smaller. Yeah, 12mm. So now it's holding it on. this has got to come out, so that means these have to come off. Okay. I'm guessing this is the way to come off, but these right here, 22mm wrench. So this kind of holds this tight, and the shaft screws into here. There's a little lock washer there. Set that there. All right. Let's do this. This one goes here. This is 14 minutes, 12. millimeters. Come on. Ugh. That's interesting. Looks like they used the nut for a spacer. Cool. Alright. So move these down on the ground. Well, here's a view. There's that, what I think is the hydraulic filter. I think. Supposedly this comes off and a new filter slides right in there, I think. No guarantees expressed or implied. And I don't see a real good reason to take off this labeled side panel, because it looks like the only thing it's really covering over is the hydraulic oil tank. And I don't think I would see anything different by pulling that out and looking at it, so I'm just going to leave it. Oh, what's this? Oh, a piece of metal. Ooh. So I think I've taken off about everything I'm going to take off. Oh yeah, here's those fittings, which I guess with Zerks, and I guess you got to put enough grease in them to fill up the hose. And I guess they go down yonder way somewhere. Alright. But anyway. Alright. Oh yeah, one of the first mods you really should do is this plate here. When you're running, it'll drive you crazy. There's like a metal plate right here that it rides on, and I'm going to put something around that to kind of cushion it to keep the metal from metal contact from rattling. And trust me, it'll drive you nuts. By the way, if you find you need to remove these housings for the pilot controls, you might think, well, I can just unscrew them bolts and it'll come right out. Well, nuh-uh. There's nuts underneath of them, both sides. So you're going to have to take the side panels off to get to them. Otherwise, you're going to hear a clunk when the nut drops down. And it'll probably go in between the radiators, which will not make you happy. And speaking of oil draining the motor oil, and I'm sure you've probably seen other videos like this, there is actually a drain for this. And it's right there, which is pretty easy to get to. Well, and just for completeness, this is something I pointed out earlier in some photographs, but the slew motor gear and the gear that's attached to the carriage, there's what's called a debris shield that's supposed to go around it. Nearly everything I've seen showed it goes around 360 degrees, but for this, you can see there's a gap in the shield, right where the gear motor and the carriage motor engage, which I would think would be the most critical area to try to keep debris out from where those two gears mesh together. But what do I know? I'm not a design engineer. I'm not sure what to think about this. When this showed up on Thursday, And I saw the tag on this that said sold, and I'm like, well, yeah, sure, because they marked it for me because I told them I wanted the green one that was in the showroom. But then I see this, and there's somebody else's name on the tag. So, what the heck does that mean? Also, from what I've heard, it's recommended that you take the plastic covering off of the seat cushions, because otherwise humidity, moisture will build up inside and it will rot the seats out from the inside. And it looks like the way to do that, because it doesn't pull out easily, so it looks like you have to basically take the screws off the headrest, the backrest, and also the seat cushion, and then pull this off and then take out the plastic and put it back on. And hopefully that's not a pain in the butt.